Dropping in a ground shadow helps give dimension and helps show a sense of weight to your study, to the form. Um, at this point, I'm really knocking in some darker shadows, especially stuff that's closer to camera. Really gives, once again, that sense of dimension and a little bit more of form. Locking down the mane in certain areas, hitting some of those core shadows. These things I start to actually, as I get towards the end, to really build it up. It's a process. You don't want to lock in your darks right away. You don't want to lock in your lights right away. It's almost building. You're building an illustration. Certain other things really help personality. If you kind of look near the chin there, near the lip, adding those little whiskers and little specks, once again creates a little bit more character. So much innate character, especially in giraffes, but in animals in general. And it's up to the artist to really bring it out. That's why I talk about bringing it out in the eye, bringing it out in the pose. Sometimes just the way the ear is, the way the ear is positioned, says a lot about who that animal is. And we'll talk more about personality in the next few chapters. One little trick way to check yourself is actually on most animals. If you draw a straight line from the nose, it connects all the way up through the eye and into the ear. I'm not saying it's directly a 90-degree angle, 180-degree angle, so on and so forth, but they actually line up in a straight line. So as I was doing there, you could see as I was pushing with the nose to the eye to the ear. It's a great way to check yourself, just like anatomy, okay? Just like using anatomy to fix your drawings. One thing I also like to do in terms of posing is watch out for twinning or parallels. Usually I'll kick one leg out, push one forward, and make it a little more interesting to look at. The pose, the animal, everything already works in nature, works on its own. Now it has to work on your paper. Because when you walk away, your drawing should stand up on its own and actually create some interest. So sometimes you have to take a little bit of an artistic liberty and make some adjustments to make it work on your paper. And that's what, at the end of the day, we'll talk about more about design. A lot about what design is by making things work. You're almost a problem solver. And kind of see how the lights are actually helping bring the form out. And by not putting lights around the entire form, it doesn't flatten it. It's only those hotter spots that are closer to the actual light source. Also, when dealing with patterns on animals, if you're dealing with a tonal drawing like this, don't worry about hitting the pattern so much in the shadows. It's not. It'll end up working against you. Let the eye do the finishing touch. When dealing with lights, once again, I remember I was talking about intensity. You don't want to make everything high key. Well, a little trick that I do quite a bit is I use whiteout. I use whiteout for those really, really hot spots, and it really helps draw the eye where I want the viewer to look, where I want the camera to focus on. And in most of my sketches, it's usually in the face. So if you see, I really brought that hot spot highlight to the eye and a couple other areas on the top of that head. It's a great way to really add some high key and high value highlights. I usually save doing highlights and the light spots of the eyes till the end, um, and that's usually my finishing touch. And at the end, it's all about just kind of jumping around, fixing a few areas here and there, and moving on. So hopefully, this seeing this demo from life really helped you guys in your own studies. And we'll talk about more about capturing personality, pose, and quick sketching in the later chapters.